Subscribe to Automation Studio channel and hit on bell icon to get the new video notification, and it's absolutely free. Okay, so this video is continuation of the previous video where we have discussed how to perform the swipe action from top to bottom and bottom to top. And in this video we will going to convert the same logic into reusable function and how to use it the same function in different ways. So that's what we are going to discuss over in this video. So if you want to understand this video, you have to watch my previous video. I have kept the link within the description box. So let's continue. Okay, so let's continue. So till now we have seen two methods for scroll down and scroll up, and we have written in a separate way. So what we'll do now, we will create a reusable method. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write public boolean, and then I will name it as scroll. So I will write scroll, and I just make it void only. So later stages I will just convert into the return type as boolean. So what I have done here, so I have just added one of the logic scroll down section, and then I'm trying to perform the same action. Okay, so I'm passing here Appium driver object. Okay, and now instead of the block of code for scroll down or scroll up, I will use this particular method. So I just added the exception for thread.slip, and now what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna call scroll method instead of scroll down section. Okay, so what I will do, I will just remove this piece of code because this piece of code is transferred into this scroll method, and I will just call scroll and just pass my driver. And let me comment this code as well, and let me run the test case and see whatever the code we have transferred into the scroll method is working fine or not. So what is the purpose behind this? So we are going to transfer that particular snippet into the reusable method, and we are trying here whether it is working fine or not. So this is the intention to do that. So it's very step by step. So just converting into the method and trying whether it is working fine or not. So it's running right now. So it is launching the app. It is scrolled well. Let's see into the Eclipse. It's printed all the data, and it went well. Yeah, so without any failures it worked fine. So that means our scroll reusable method is working fine. Okay, so now we will make it more productive, and we will pass more parameters into that. Okay, so I can pass here start x, start y, and end x and end y parameter, because if you are able to see from line number 75 to 79, I have hard coded like 0.5, 0.8, 0.2 and 0.2, right? So basically it's not a good idea to hard code the value within the method. So we should parameterize it so that we can define it at what proportion on the fly, or at the time of defining into the test cases we want to scroll at what proportion, right? So for that purpose only I am parameterizing it, so it will become more reusable and more dynamic in nature. Okay, so I'm just defining here start x, start y, and end x and end y. Let me define into the type as integer as of now, and so integer x, start x, integer xy, so that is the data type for that. And this is nothing but the proportion, on which proportion you want to you know, at what percentage you want to declare your coordinates x and y. Okay, so for that purpose only we need to define the proportion as parameters, and then it should work accordingly. Okay, so that is what we are doing here. So I just highlighted this code for the same. But if you will observe here, the values are in the points. So whenever you want to mention in the decimals in the percentage format, so it should be double, right? So I'm just converting into the double instead of integer, so it should be, the type should be double. So one another changes I want to do here, I want to make this variable with suffix t. So start xt start yd, so that it will be clear it's related to double. So just for the naming convention, so that we can understand, like, yeah, we need to pass here double value. So I'm gonna change here. So I'm gonna pass start xd, I'm gonna pass here start yd, and then similarly and xd and yd. So now whatever the parameter or whatever the value you will send here, it will uh, simply create the coordinates accordingly in that proportion, and it will pass into this touch action class, and it should reflect over there. So let me try over here. Let me pass 0.5, okay, as a x, and 0.8 for y, then again 0.5 for x and y for 0.2. So here only y is changing. If you can see, x is still 0.5. Okay, so now let me run the code. So let's run it. So it's launching the app now, and now it should perform the action. Oh, I think it's a previous session was running, so now it is restarted the session, and yeah, it is scrolling now, so it's work fine. Okay, so let's move to Eclipse and see. It's printed all the values and it went well. So whatever the method we have just tried, it's working well. So let's try for scrolling down by simply changing the coordinates. So instead of start y and end y, we just replacing the value from 2 to 8. So it means from bottom to top, right? So let's see. So bottom to top we have tried, top to bottom in the line number 55 we are trying. Okay, so only y is changing here. If you will say 0.5 in the first and third value is still is fixed, but y is changing. Y is changing from 0.8 to 0.2 and then 0.2 to 0.8, so which is nothing like the height. Okay, so that's how it will work. If you understand the concept of scrolling, then it will be very easy you to deal with this such kind of methods. Just you need to change the value and you have to see the magic while the execution. So that is the purpose I want to explain you over here. Okay, so I just removed this method, it's no longer needed. So just with the help of our two helper methods, by changing the parameters or the coordinates value as in a percentage, we are trying to achieve both of the actions. Okay, so let me execute it now, and now the test case is running, and let's see the execution over here. Okay, so it's relaunched it, and okay, now it should scroll down. Yeah, now it should scroll up. Yeah, it is scrolled up. It happened very quickly. So yeah, so it printed all the value over here as well, and it went well. Okay, let me add some sleep over here so that we can understand after swipe up. We can understand the execution also, because we want to hold for some time. So let's run it again, and let's see. We are just confirming like it went well or not. So execution should be smooth, right? Yeah, so it's running again. It will launch, and then it should scroll down. So this is scroll down and then this is scroll up. So it depends how the screen will behave for the app. So accordingly we should name it, right? So I guess execution is over now. So let's move to the Eclipse and see how does it work. So it got passed. So remember, in the case of scrolling up and scrolling down, only y coordinate will change, x will not change. Okay, so these things you need to remember over here. So if you will see here, only y is changing, 0.5 and 0.5 for x value is constant. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do here, so I'm gonna print this text as well. Okay, so I just want to scroll, full scroll till end, and then I want to print all the values. Okay, so what I will do, these things also will try step by step. Okay, so first I will put in a loop over here, and then I will scroll to further level like 3 or 5 times, and then I'm trying to print the values, okay, and we will see how does it goes, okay, and then we will convert into some in a logical way, okay. So let's try this first. So let's try to scroll a certain number of times and then try to print the value on the UI, because it's a native view, right? For the native view, whatever the things is visible on the screen is only accessible, right? So let's say first of the top view, right? When you will scroll, then the upper view will be not visible on the screen, so you can't read those data which is not visible on the screen, okay. You will lost it, so you have to capture those data when it is visible, then you will scroll and then you capture, okay. So like that we will try. So I just put in the for loop and I'm just trying to iterate it for 3 times, okay, or 4 times, scroll 4 times, and meanwhile I'm capturing all the data present on the screen, okay. So it is now launching the app and it will perform the same action, okay. Scroll 1, so it's capture the data, okay. Now it will scroll again and it will capture the data, so it already scrolled. Now third time it will scroll, yes. Now it will again capture the data, and fourth time it will scroll again, okay. Now again it will capture the data, right? So it perform 4 scrolls and capture all the data, 1 2 3 4, if you are able to see, right? So that's what we have defined in the for loop, okay. And we have done the same thing, okay. We are scrolling, printing, scrolling, printing, scrolling, printing, right? So this is how you can access all the data within your list, okay. And what you can do, you can store in a set, so set will not accept duplicate data. So this is how it will, you can store only unique values in that, if your list doesn't contain any duplicate values. So let's have a look here. So right now we have just identified all the values, but if you want to identify some value like this one 51Z, so if you want to scroll till that level, till particular value get visible on the UI, then how to do that? So let's try to achieve the same thing here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to validate whether the text is matched or not while performing the iteration. So let me do it with the help of a do while loop. So I'm gonna convert here the entire logic with the help of do while loop. So for a reference, I'm just typing here s1-z, so whatever the text I need to target here, and I'm converting the entire logic into do while, okay. And within the do while I will place some condition. So let me declare one flag which will be which initial value will be false, okay. If the value is matched, then I'm gonna turn it to true, okay. If the value is not matched, then obviously flag remains false, so that means I didn't got any value after the completion of do while loop, okay. So I just removed the for loop from here, and what I'm going to do here, I'm just gonna iterate it till some condition, okay. So what is that condition? So I will define here. First condition is if I will get the matched value, then flag will become true, right? But this do while loop will remains continue till flag is false. So that is the reason I just put the condition as not flag. So please iterate it till the flag is false. So only if this is the condition, then the loop will go into the infinite stage. That's why I'm defining integer a is equal to 5, and I'm gonna define here some timeout value. So I need to iterate at some point of time if the value is not exist in the list, right? So a plus plus, so I'm gonna declare here the value is like 5 times. So it gonna iterate 5 times and then maximum 5 times, and if it will not find any value within the loop, okay. And what I'm gonna define here, if condition, obviously, because for each value I'm gonna match whether this value is matched with whatever I am looking for. If it is not, then please continue. If it is that, then please mark the flag as true because I got the value, and please break the loop. So like that I'm gonna write my logic. So if you can see, e dot get attribute text dot equal ignore case s1 hyphen sorry 51 minus z, and then flag is equal to true, and I'm gonna break it because I got the value and flag is equal to true. So iteration will stop over here because it's gonna check again on the while. No, flag is not false, so it will break the loop. Okay, otherwise if this is not the case, if it won't get the value, it will try maximum 5 times, and then it will say, hey, I tried 5 times but I didn't got the value, so I'm gonna break this loop. So let's run it and see how does it work. So I'm gonna run it now. So let's right click and run. Now execution is taking place, and let's see how does it work. Okay, so it will try to scroll because it's gonna target the last value. So 2 scroll happened, and it all the values got printed. Third scroll is also happened, and it got till last, but z is not printed yet. I think now it will print. Yes, it got print. I think it got the value, but there is no indication on the terminal like it got the value or not. Okay, so probably we need to add one message. Once the value we will get, once the value, then we should display some message, hey, we got the value, something like that. So what I'm going to do here, so before break I will put one print statement where I will pass some message like got the value, or hey, I got the value, something like that. So I just passing got the value, so that once it will find the value, then it should display this message, so that we should get assurance like, yeah, we got the value on the terminal. Okay, I'm gonna rerun it, and let's see, this time it should catch the value and print the message. Okay, so it will do the same stuff again. So it will launch the application, and it will scroll number of times till end because our value situated at the last, so it will scroll till end and then try to find the value, find the match the value. So let's wait till execution is done. It's going on. It got the value till y. Yeah, now it got the value, it printed as well. So our logic worked over here. Now loop should break and stop the execution, right? So it will take some time here. Yeah, so execution is done, 0 failure. Our logic worked very well. Okay, so the logic what we have written here, it went well. Okay, so what we need to do now, we can convert into some reusable function again. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create one method, public boolean and scroll to text. Okay, so because I'm gonna stop my scroll action till I will get the value whatever I am targeting on the UI, right? So I just paste my logic over here, and I just pass the driver object. Okay, and then what I will do, I will pass here this by element, because whatever the information we need to parameterize, we should target now. So by, okay, so this is also can be changed, because in my case it's just XPath, in your case it might be ID or some other locator, right? So better to pass by. Okay, after that what we need to do, so we need to let me add the throw exception here. Okay, yeah, after that what we need to do here, obviously the text whatever I'm looking for. So in this case I'm looking for S51 minus Z, so better I should say string text. So it should not be the case always, right? So let me parameterize it. Okay, another thing is let me pass here the attribute type also. It's not necessary it always I will look for attribute text, right, in line number 96. So it could be text, it could be label, it could be some other attribute, right? So better to pass it. So just pass the attribute and target it. I think this information is enough to pass within this particular method. Okay. And also if the flag is true, then please return the flag. So this we need to, because after execution of this particular do while loop, the state of the flag will change. Okay, so you need to return the flag whether it is you found it or not. Okay, true or false. So simply it will return it here, right? So that's why return flag is needed at the end. Now what we can do here, we can just remove this uh, piece of code and we can call the method which we have created just now, and just we need to pass the parameters whatever needed. So just pass the by attribute will be text, and my text value should be, let's target now 44 minus s, capital S. Okay, so I'm just targeting this value. I'm gonna remove it or comment it. Let's comment it, and then I'm gonna give a try for an execution, and let's see. So see, this much piece of code I just transferred into one simple method, right? So no need to write this code again and again. Better to you convert these stuff into a helper method. Understand what we we will try to make it simple and provide those information in the form of parameters, and use as many as time you want. Okay, so that's why we need to study what is the problem and how to solve it into a simpler form. So that's what I'm trying to show in this video. Okay, that's why I'm going just step by steps. Okay, so let's execute this method and let's see how does it work now. So now I'm running it and let's see how it will work. Appium server is running, device is also ready, and now execution should take place. So it started running. Again it will go to the same UI, try to scroll, and it should stop the execution of the scrolling till whatever the label or element we are targeting. Okay, so we'll check into the Eclipse. Okay, so yeah, so see 44 minus s, and it got the value, and it should not scroll now, and it should terminate the loop and stop the execution. Yep, so without any failure we got the value here. Okay, now we'll target this one 6f, I guess. So instead of this, let me target 6g. Okay, no, it's not f, it's g. Okay, so in the first screen itself we should get this value. So that's the reason I'm just targeting and see how does it work. So execution is started now again, and let's see this time how does it work. So basically whenever you will convert your logic into the reusable function, then you need to give a test for a couple of times in order to find out whether any glitches or any issues may be there with your implementation whatever you have done in the form of reusable function. So see, I got the value, but it scrolled, I guess. Even in the first screen itself I got the value, but it did the scroll. Okay, so why did it scroll? So yeah, so because if you will see our implementation, we have a scroll function at the down. So even though we will get it, it will scroll it obviously. So let me put here if a statement with flag. So if I won't get the flag, means if the flag is false, then only scroll, because for the first logic if I will get the value, flag will turn into true, right? So if it found like flag is not true, then only it will scroll, right? So I just added one condition over here. If I don't get a value, then only scroll it. Otherwise if I get the value and flag become true, then no need to scroll, right? So let's now rerun the test. So see, we have find one glitch in our code, so that's how we have fixed it. So that is the reason when you will convert some your code into result function, you have to test couple of time and you have to ensure the logic is working well, so that in future if you gonna use it at particular point of test cases or as a test step, so you should not encounter any problem. So see, now this time it won't scroll because it found the value in the first screen itself and it is not doing scroll, right? So our logic went well. So guys, that's it for this video. So I'm just shown you how to do the top to bottom and bottom to up swipe or a scrolling event and how to convert into reusable methods. We have analyzed two type of methods, like simple scrolling and scroll till text is visible in the list. I'm gonna cover horizontal swipe in the next lecture. If you have any doubts, please drop me in the comment section and I will try to answer your queries. Also, I will share the app which I have used in this video in the description box, so you can try the same thing in while you are practicing it. Okay, so please like, share, subscribe and help me in the subscriptions. Okay, and stay tuned, be safe and keep watching Appium series. Thank you guys, happy learning.